Hey everybody, Kay here on my homestead in my sunroom, and today we're going to do some winter sowing. So stay tuned. I'm just going to quickly go over everything you're going to need so you can kind of get organized. Now, I've been meaning to do winter sowing since I got to Tennessee. Now, you know, the first 8 years of my gardening life was in LA, and it was never under 40 degrees. So there was something going on all the time. I mean, you do kind of have winter, but it's nothing like here where things just shut down. And so I've been meaning to do this, and so now I'm finally getting around to it. And there are a few ways that you can do it, different containers. You can plant seeds directly in the ground, or you can use gallon bags, or you can use other kinds of containers. But I think the most popular way is to just use these empty plastic jugs. And so what you do is you cut all the way around half, and you just save a section on the side so you can bend it over. And I'm going to go through and do all these. And then you have your soil ready. So I've got my moistened, seed starting mix or potting soil, you know, whatever you have. I have that moistened already. You don't have to moisten it. You can put the seeds in there and then water it, but I just think it's easier to do this. So I've got that ready. That's not enough for, let's see, I've got 10, right? Yeah, I've got 10 bottles, right? That's all I've got right now. So I've got a lot more than 10 varieties of seeds, but I want to keep everything separate. You know, so it's going to be coneflower and hollyhocks and German chamomile and calendula, and all of these are great for, and nigella, bachelor buttons, and snapdragon, and aster. All of these are good for winter sowing. I'm going to get started. Now, I think rather than using a knife and risk, you know, cutting yourself, because what happens with this plastic is once you make your initial puncture, if you slice it down, it really slices. And so I don't want anybody getting hurt if you've never done this before. So, and myself as well. I mean, I remember in art school, I was sitting on the floor and I was cutting cardboard with an X-Acto blade, similar to this. And it went right into my thigh. And so I don't really ever want that to happen again. But once you make your initial poke, you know, then I have these wonderful scissors, and I highly recommend these. It's a heavier duty scissor. It's just got, you know, one thing here and that for your hands there. But you can cut, I've even cut the perforated drainage pipe with these, you know, which I use sections of that to protect the bottom of my fruit trees from the deer, of course. Now, I looked away and I don't know where my cut was. Let me find the cut. And then what I'm going to do, once I find the cut, there it is, I'm just going to cut the rest. I'm going to start there and just use the scissors, and that way I can control better. You know, the knife is not going to get away from you and slice it up, because this plastic is very thin. In fact, I have a video, and I'll put the link up to the left. It's a water storage video that I did in 22, you know, about long-term water storage. And these bottles, you know, this type of water bottle is designed to break down in the landfill. And, you know, they sell like distilled water for babies and stuff, and as well as milk bottles. And so it's very thin, and you put any pressure on that knife and it can get away from you. And what you want to do Where'd I start? Okay. I think it would be better to start on one of the other sides, and I will for the next one. You know, the handle's kind of low, so you have to cut below the handle. But then you're going to have a section that you bend like that. And the soil is going to go in here. Your seeds are going to get sprinkled on here. You're going to close it up. You're going to use your tape. I have duct tape. You need something waterproof. You know, paper tape. Blue paper tape is not going to do the trick for winter. All these are going to go outside. So, and then you're going to write on here what you've planted inside. And so let me get these all cut and I'll be back. Oh, you're going to need a magic marker and you're going to need your seeds. Okay, I forgot to mention, and it would be easier to do that before you make your cuts, is you've got to have some drainage holes in the bottom. So I'm just going to use, again, this is a sharp blade, and I'm just going to put a slit. You could use your, you know, like a small bit on your screwdriver. I couldn't get the bit out of my screwdriver that's in there, so I'm using the knife. But as you can see, it cuts very easily. And I'm just making 4 slits in the bottom, just so your water can drain out. And I'm going to do that to each one, and I'm going to cut them, and then I'll be right back. Oh, and I am working inside because even though it got up to 40 this afternoon, the wind is blowing and I just got over a cold, and I wanted to stay warm while I do this because it does take a little bit of time. Even after you get all your things together, it takes a little bit of time. But the beauty of winter sowing is you take it out there and it does its own thing. You forget about it. And that's why I wanted to do it this year, because I have gotten more and more and more things growing in my dining room every year. You know, I've got grow lights everywhere and trays everywhere, and of course all of that has to be managed. You know, you can't let anything dry out, and you gotta make sure that you've got timers on your lights and all of that. And once you set these out, you let the natural light take over and the moisture take over, and that's it. And you know, it's really, really easy. And then of course you just take out the plants, and of course we'll go through all that once I have plants. Now I'll have to go get a refill of soil, but we'll start with this. Okay. Just do it assembly line. Now I'm going to load up the seeds right here. I'm hoping you can see that. And each seed, of course, you read the seed planting directions on the label. So some seeds you can, like the German chamomile, is just fine powder, and you can literally sprinkle that on the top. German chamomile. I have 2 packages left over from last year. One is organic, one is not. And the seeds are so fine. In fact, there's plenty of seeds in this one packet. It's literally like powder. Let's see if you can see that. Usually with a powdered seed, you can just press it into the surface. Now theoretically that could be a lot of plants, but we'll see what comes up. Okay. Okay. You want to mark it while you remember what it is, though, right? Right. Now, some of the other ones that I'm going to do, I have hollyhocks and purple coneflower, which is a native. I think this is native all over the country, but certainly it is for Tennessee. And snapdragon. I have some bachelor buttons here that someone gave me. My own sulfur cosmos. And I'm going to do aster. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm going to do nigella. In fact, I have similar to that. This is nigella, and is this? Yeah, this is the same. This is violet nigella, which is actually black cumin seed. So today I'm just focusing on flowers. Hollyhocks is a bigger seed. So it's a little awkward, you know, because you've got this thing in the way, but these are the seeds, and I'm just going to spread them around. You know, hollyhock is a big plant, so if all of these came up, I would have a lot of hollyhocks. First of all, I'm going to press those down. This just puts a fine layer on top. This is more important when the seeds are smaller, actually. So, for these big hollyhock seeds, I think I can just afford to sprinkle it around. Press it down. And then we're good. Okay, these are aster seeds, king size apricot, botanical interest, and they're kind of elongated, and it calls for seed depth of 1/8 of an inch, so they're going to lay down flat. I'm just going to sprinkle them around. I'm going to wet the seeds, moisten. He's just going to be we're almost there. So the idea is to go all the way around. Well, somehow I think that might be difficult to do. So I thought maybe just making a bunch of little ones to kind of hold it together rather than, you know, that was my thinking. And of course, if you've done this before, leave me a comment below and say, no, this is the best way to do it, Kay. Don't use duct tape. Well, that's what I have. I thought I had something else out there and I didn't see it. This looks like it's been sitting for a long time, and I know that I bought a new roll not of something not that long ago. It's obviously not this one. But I'll just make little pieces and put what you don't want to do is dump it. Once you, I think doing it on the corner might be better. I'm probably going to waste some tape doing it this way, but... And I saw some people were just writing on the jar, and maybe on the bottle, and maybe once you use it all winter, they're no good to be reused. That I don't know. I thought if I do it this way, then I'm more likely to get it put together, you know, in the right spot. But this is going to be easier to stick to itself than the carton. Okay. All right. And then you can actually pick it up. And I bought a really big fat magic marker for this job. Whew, that's strong. Okay, we've got hollyhock. This is exciting. That's a long word. That has to go around the corner with the big fat marker. But maybe that won't wash off. Every marker I've ever tried, every permanent marker, waterproof permanent marker that I've tried, you know, on tags for plants, by the end of the season, that tag is white and there's no marker left. So that's hollyhock. Hey, if you are new to my channel, I live on a little over 9 acres in Middle Tennessee on a hill. And I've had a lot of challenges in these 5 years, all of which I've shared on my channel. So if you're interested in that, I hope you will subscribe, click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all so you won't miss an episode. Okay, so I got that done. Let's see if I can lift it. Yep. Here we go. Now, if you have a real windy place, you can put them right up against a southeast or east facing wall and get some protection that way. You know, and I could do that, but I've got one raised bed that, you know, the dirt has really packed down, so I think I've got about that much protection all the way around. And I'm gonna try them in there. We've had a lot of wind this, gosh, past 6 months, so we'll see. I'm gonna set them up out there, and they're going to naturally vent, but they're going to be like individual little greenhouses. So I'm very excited. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's go out and get these set up. But I'm hoping this is going to be okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for the support of my channel. You can find ways to support this channel underneath the video, but the best thing you can do is hit that like button and share it with a friend. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.